not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
So out of the entire score, they just picked that song. I don't understand this world with it. I can't even do this episode anymore. No, I'm back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the prediction episode for the Oscars 2018. The 90th anniversary of the Academy Awards is this Sunday. Holy cow. Welcome to another exciting edition of The Game Changer. I am indeed Nate the Effing Great, being joined here by the Jimmy Kimmel to my Matt Damon, that being VictoriBelle. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I don't know. That's a good description of us.
Well, you're the one that's more popular than I am, and I'm just, I got a good idea every now and then, but meh. That's really awesome.
Tear you down in front of millions of people.
Well, I think you did a good job last year of not, being too rough on me. Although, again, Mr. Joe from PhotoCon still thinks I'm scared of Batman. I am not scared of Batman. In fact, I am Batman. I digress. So, we are giving our predictions for the Oscars this Sunday, you guys, which will be a live reaction video on Facebook. It's the same thing that we did last year. We're going to be going through 12 different categories, picking up our opinions, as well as our predictions on who is going to win on Sunday. And, yeah, it's going to be a crazy show. And we're going to kick it off with Best Original Song because, yes, there's a reason why I had that song playing first, and I have another nominated song that's going to be playing at the end. So definitely look out for that. It's going to be awesome. So let's start with Best Original Song. Nominees are Mighty River from Bound, Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name, Remember Me from Coco, Stand Up for Something from Marshall, and This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. Now, I'll start this off because I already feel very confident with this pick right here. I am going to be going with the song that we played earlier, and that is This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. It got a global Golden Globe, I should say, earlier, and actually did defeat Remember Me from Coco, which a lot of people are probably thinking, like, yeah, it's probably going to be the one that wins. I think it's going to be a repeat again. I think This Is Me is going to take the Oscar this year.
Awesome. See, now I want everybody to know that me and Nate are having a competition here. We're going to be picking our choices, and then during the Oscars, we're probably going to keep score, and some punishment or some reward is going to happen. So, I predicted that you would predict The Greatest Showman. I don't know how I guessed that, but for some reason I thought you were going to pick that song. So I decided that even though I really do like that song, out of the competition and competitive person I am, I wanted to choose something different so that if this is the tiebreaker right here, I want to be different. So I decided to go with Remember Me from Coco. It easily gets stuck in my head all the time. It's a great song, but I don't know. And like you said, if The Greatest Showman already won the Golden Globe, that's kind of, shoo-in, but maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, and the interesting thing was that I listened to every single one of those songs, and the only two that really stood out to me out of all of those was indeed Remember Me from Coco, as well as This Is Me. Well, for obvious reasons. It's not like I've talked about that movie more than, probably at least an hour's worth in the show alone. But I digress. So we're going to move on to the next category that we had picked out, and that was Best Costume Design. Let me see if I can get the nominees right here. Unless, would you like to take over? What were the best nominees for Best Costume Design?
I actually didn't write all of the nominees down. I'm so sorry. I can go and grab them real quick.
I already got this one up. So, Best Costume Design, we have Beauty and the Beast, Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, and Victoria and Abdul. There we go. And I want to state this, that I just noticed this right now. It seems kind of unfair because Beauty and the Beast and Darkest Hour have the same costume designer. I think it's Jacqueline Duran is in both those categories. I'm like, really? Wow. And I recently did just watch Darkest Hour, a really good movie. Well, for the most part.
Yeah, it wasn't it crazy? Like you feel anxiety for them. You're like, ah.
Oh yeah, I definitely did, and I think that Gary Oldman did an amazing job. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. So you start off. What did you have for Best Costume Design? What is your prediction that you're going to lock in for Sunday?
Oh, this was, dude, it had both of like the Beauty and the Beast type of things, but I gotta go with what I said. I wanted Beauty and the Beast to win one, at least one.
Oh, man. And as tradition has gone, ladies and gentlemen, Skype hates us when we talk about the Oscars. So if you hear a little bit of, like, grogginess here and there, trust me, it's not Victory Bell, it's Skype. It's just not... I've just noticed this major...
Did you not hear me?
No, I heard you. It was just that it just froze in and out every now and then.
Oh, well, Beauty and the Beast is my choice.
Well, they heard that part. I think it was afterwards where it kind of fizzled out. It kind of faded out a bit. But, yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. I think that it's hard. Yeah, I'm choosing Beauty and the Beast, too. It's hard to pick against that movie. It was so good. Everything that... The costumes were just absolutely amazing. Darkest Hour had a good one. Phantom Thread, I mean, I get why he got nominated. It basically talked about how this guy's basically smothering this woman with, fancy dresses, and all of them looked really good. Shape of Water, classical. You can't really deny that.
Shape of Water, I think, would be the biggest competition here. Their costume with the guy is fantastic, and that is not CGI'd at all, unlike the Beast. But
that's fair.
I gotta think that hopefully I don't remember. I don't think we're doing the makeup here. We are not.
No.
I could see The Shape of Water. If they don't take costume, they might take makeup in the sense that maybe they had to do some sort of cool makeup to him as well. But I mean. This would be a hard one. Shape of Water, I feel like, might be the front runner here, or the Phantom Thread because of all the dresses. You're right. There's costumes in that.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to do probably like a mini podcast or a list at least of things that people can expect from the Oscars this Sunday. But I'll get into that probably more tomorrow. I'll have a little extra time. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to agree with you on Beauty and the Beast, and I think one of the reasons why we're not going to talk about makeup and design is because one of us is still bitter about last year's winner. Moving along. I vented too much even at work where people are just like, well, you have to understand that's like, I know, but still, it won an Oscar. Again, moving on. Next category we had was Best Cinematography. This one is going to be... I think this one's actually going to be pretty tough because this basically is just dealing with the camera work. Which one of these movies had the best camera work? We have Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Mudbound, and, no surprise here, The Shape of Water. So, I guess the ball's back in my court. I think that Shape of Water is going to take quite a few of these. I just don't think this was going to be one. I'm actually going to select Dunkirk for this one. It's just so hard to choose against a movie that basically deals with, real things that actually happen. And the story of Dunkirk is absolutely amazing. I think I watched this movie last week, if I'm not mistaken. Just great. I think it was like even right off the bat. I just remember just hearing gunshots and just how the camera work was. And I just remember thinking, oh, geez, 30 seconds in this movie, I'm already getting the crap scared out of me. Bravo, Dunkirk. So, yep, I'm locking in Dunkirk for my selection. Who have you got?
Yeah. Hey, I chose the exact same one. After watching Dunkirk, I mean, it's meant to be filmed to confuse and disorient you because the soldiers there didn't know what was going on, and they kind of throw you in to that situation. And I don't know about you, if you've watched, you said you watched Dunkirk and you've watched Darkest Hour, didn't they just go super well together? Like, you were like, oh, I know exactly what he's talking about here, and you know the situation. I watched Dunkirk before it, or I watched Darkest Hour, and I heard, Churchill freak out about this. I thought it was really cool that two of these World War II movies really kind of went well together. But Dunkirk, to me, was just so crazily filmed. Like, there's so many different scenarios that you're like, I feel like I'm trapped in a boat right now, and I better get out. So I'm agreeing with you, and I'm picking Dunkirk.
Yeah, it's just really well done. And again, when they just reenact a lot of these stories that, actually happened, it takes a lot of, commitment to really portray those actors, whether you're an actor or a director, producer, whatever it be. But to actually capture those moments is one of the hardest things to do. And I think, like we said, Dunkirk does an amazing job at it. But all right, so we move on to the next category, which is Best Visual Effects. And this one is going to be, I think, even tougher considering a couple of these we've talked about quite a bit on the show. We've got Blade Runner 2049, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Kong Skull Island, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and War for the Planet of the Apes. The ball's in your court, Victory Bell. Who have you got and why?
Right. I went with one of the only movies on here that I saw. I have to go with my Guardians of the Galaxy with this one, and I was hoping that you pick a different one, but I'm choosing Guardians.
Really? I would have thought that. Well, didn't you see Kong Skull Island though? Didn't we talk?
I saw a tiny bit of it.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, and if that would get an Oscar, I feel like that would be awesome. So. All you.
I definitely agree with that. But as far as selections go, I went a different route. My selection is actually Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Knew it. Yay!
Okay, to be fair, if this was one of those situations where it was going to be, predicting the outcome or predicting which thing that I would predict, you would already have a lead ahead of me right now, okay? I don't think that's fair. But, yeah, I had such a hard time picking against this movie. I think between Guardians of the Galaxy and Star Wars The Last Jedi, it's just so hard. Especially when you consider everything that goes on with it. Visual effects for both of them are absolutely phenomenal. But like I said, it's just hard for me to pick against Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I'm hoping that they finally win something big. I'm hoping that they win this. But, if Guardians of the Galaxy wins, I will be okay with that too. But something tells me they might go a different route, because a lot of times who we want is not always what the Academy wants to pick out. So, as we've discussed in last week's episode. But anyway, I digress. So, next up to bat is Best Animated Feature. And you doing good?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Best Animated Feature. Here we go. So we got the nominees are Victor Bell's favorite movie, of course, The Boss Baby. We have The Breadwinner, Coco, Ferdinand, and Loving Vincent. So that would mean it's up in my court. And thankfully, you guys, I did not pick The Boss Baby. So for those that are thinking like, oh, but this movie was great. Yeah, but there's another one I think that did better. And no, it's not Ferdinand. John Cena as a bull, do. No. I went with the popular one. I went with Coco. I just think that But with all the hype that it's gotten and with all the critically acclaimed, just positivity that it got from everybody, it's hard to pick against it. Plus, from what I've seen, I've wanted to see it so bad, but I didn't get a chance to because my movies were due in a day and I had to sleep. I would have watched this just for one sole reason. The fact that I heard that there is a Mexican legend involved in this, El Santo, I thought to myself, best anime movie of all time. I don't care what anybody says. It's Disney. It features El Santo. It features Mexican America. This movie is amazing. Hard to pick against it, so I'm locking in Coco.
Yeah, I kind of already wrote those in for us. I'm like, the only one on here, I didn't really get to see the other ones. Besides, I attempted to watch Boss Baby until I was like, this is stupid. Maybe there's a good ending or something, but don't care. Don't want to watch it. I think it's good for kids, obviously. Good for kids. But that's not what I feel is meant for the best animated feature film, because, all of those Studio Ghibli, they always win. I can't wait for the new one to come out. I believe it's in 2018. But yeah, it's supposed to be a feature that really kind of hits home for everyone, and I think Coco is the champion there. I hope they win. I mean, if they don't win for Best Original Song or anything like that, they got to be a shoo-in for the animated one. So yeah, Coco.
Go, Coco. That's going to be my hashtag for when that category comes in. I'm just going to put down hashtag go, Coco. Just make that a thing. All right. So next up we have Best Original Score. So obviously this is the collective musical styles of the entirety of the movies. Again, why Greatest Showman is not one of them, I'll never understand. I digress. All right, so nominees are Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Victory Bell, who have you got and why?
I went with my gut, and I went with The Shape of Water. It was all about sound and music, and it was beautiful. The music really transported you to the time that they were living in, and I think it was the 70s. But it really felt like you were in Paris and the old 20s or 40s. I didn't live in that time. I don't know what it was, but it felt old and it felt like Paris, and it wasn't Paris, but I loved the music. It was beautiful, and their dance number was beautiful. And, Shape of Water all the way. I feel confident on this one.
Oh, man. I want to agree with you on that. And this was the one that I did select, was Shape of Water. But there's just a part of me that's thinking, do I want to go with the safe route, or do I want to take a risk? Because there's
want to maybe do a tiebreaker.
Right. You know what? I'm going to take the risk. Right. I'm going to go with Star Wars The Last Jedi. John Williams is a fantastic conductor, and when it comes to orchestrating and creating music, really hard to top him right there. Not that Shape of Water didn't do a fantastic job, like you said. I just think, again, with this being like the last Jedi and the last, Star Wars of a certain generation, so much is now changing. It's just hard for me to say, pass up on that. So I'm going to lock it in. Star Wars The Last Jedi for Best Original Score. If I lose on that one, hey, I took a chance.
Nice.
All right, so we already did Best Original Song, so okay. Next up, we have Best Director. So let's see here. We got Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Paul Thomas Anderson, Phantom Thread, and, oh gosh, I feel like I'm going to butcher this one.
I got it. Guillermo del Toro.
Thank you. Thank you for saving my butt.
Guillermo del Toro.
All right, so I think the ball's in my court for this one. I went with another risky one. There's a lot of people I think that would think that it's a shoo-in for this, but I think with the way it's nominated, I think that this one's going to pull it out. I went with Jordan Peele for Get Out. Main reason being because this is a guy who was known so much for sketch comedy and making people laugh and everything like that. First movie that he directed, already getting Oscar nominations. It's not by a fluke. It is an absolutely amazing movie, and I think he deserves the recognition for that. So I'm going with Jordan Peele. Key and Peele all the way.
Nice. I know it. That's the hard part about this one is there's so many great choices. I like Jordan Peele just because I like the guy. I love Guillermo because I like his movies. Like, you always know when it's one of his movies because it's like it has that darker tone. You're like, what's going on? Like, it's great. He does a great job. And then I have my heart in like Greta Gerwig, Lady Bird, because I really did like that movie. I really enjoyed what she did, and I'm like getting competitive here. Like, I'm getting competitive, and I'm like, will they choose a female? Actually, like Greta Gerwig, like, will this happen? Like, is this? I feel like this could potentially be the year, but. I don't know, and I was surprised you didn't want to pick Christopher Nolan, you and your Batman friends all over there. Director of The Dark Knight. But yeah, I kind of, I'm going to just be crazy. Since you were crazy, I feel it's safe to be crazy. I'm going to pick Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird.
Ooh.
I feel like The Shape of Water guy is going to win, but... Guillermo probably is going to win, but Greta Gerwig, I'm going to try. I'm going to go with it.
All right. A for effort and A for taking a risk. All right.
I like going second because then I'm like, I guess I could change my answer because it's not locked in until we get it.
Now you understand my pressure when I had to switch over to Star Wars. All right.
So it's more fun when we have different answers.
That is true. All right, so next we have up is Best Supporting Actress. All right, so we have Mary J. Blige, or Mudbound, as Florence Jackson. Allison Janney in I, Tonya as Lavona Golden. Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread as Cyril Woodcock. Laurie Metcalf, Lady Bird as Marianne McPherson, I believe. And Octavia Spencer, Shape of Water, as Zelda Delilah Fuller. You're up to bat. Who you gonna pick anyway?
I decided to do. Well, actually, I didn't decide to do this. I was watching E! News and I got a tip, and I agreed with the tip. And I was like, you know what? I feel like Allison from I, Tonya has it. Everybody's been talking about her performance. She was amazingly heartless, and her monologues in this, every monologue, I had to do stuff from I, Tonya, and I was like, I really kind of want to do the mom, even though it's not my type of character, it's not my type, she's a little too old for me, but everything she said was just, like, so poignant, like, I felt like it was strong and, like, almost smelly, if that sounds weird, it should, because you were like, ugh, like you made a face that you smelled something nasty when she was talking. Yeah, I think she did a really good job. She's been around a long time, and I feel like maybe this is her moment that she decided to not be the funny lady and decided to be the crazy mom, and she might be getting it.
Good pick. Everybody knows who I'm picking. It's Octavia Spencer because, well, do I really need a reason? It's Octavia Spencer. So that's my case in point, and that's what I'm locking in for. I don't even care. I don't even care if I lose it. I'm just proud to pick her anytime. She's funny.
Any of us really cares if we lose it, but we stand by our choices.
This is true. This is true. Next up, we have Best Supporting Actor. All right, we have William Dafoe from the Florida Project as Bobby Hicks, Woody Harrelson in 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri as Chief Bill Willoughby, I believe. Yeah, I think it's Willoughby.
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins in The Shape of Water as Giles, Christopher Plummer All the Money in the World as J. Paul Getty, Sam Rockwell, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri as Officer Jason Dixon. All right. So you picked first. So, yep, it's in my court now. It would seem like the obvious choices would be right there. I think that there's people that are probably going to be picking Woody Harrelson or Sam Rockwell. But I just remember watching the whole entire movie, and this is going to be a spoiler basically for who I'm not picking for Best Picture, for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. It felt like it was the Manchester by the Sea for me of this year, where it was like I really did not feel that much of anything throughout this entire movie. It's like, okay, I understand this, I get this, but then it just felt like at the end, we're just like, do we really even learn anything, or do we really even take anything from this? Oh, so you make 3 billboards. What happens? Well, the guy you targeted shoots himself and kills himself. It's like, what? I don't understand the message behind this. I don't get it. I got nothing against Woody Harrelson. I think that he's still one of the best actors that I've seen in a long time. Also, Defendor. But I went with, I think, the safe bet on this one, and I went with Richard Jenkins from Shape of Water. I really did enjoy his performance. Him kind of almost like acting as a narrator for the movie really kind of just stood out to me. I thought he did an amazing job. It was very hard for me to pick against him, really. So I'm going with The Shape of Water, Richard Jenkins. All right.
Oh, we're kind of buzzing out.
Again, Sky paints it when we talk about the Oscars. This is my case in point. We're good. We're good now.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm live. Okay. I disagree with what you were saying about 3 Billboards. I can see why maybe you would feel that way, maybe. But I'm glad you picked Richard, because I would also like to root for him. He did an amazing job in The Shape of Water. A lot of growth in his character. And that's kind of what I look for when I choose. Like either growth or just like I couldn't see anyone else doing this role. And so for me, I decided to pick Sam Rockwell from 3 Billboards. I mean, this character goes through a crazy roller coaster of different things that he feels, and he's not very intelligent, so it makes it even more fun that way. And you go from hating this guy's guts to being like, do I feel bad for him? Is he, are we good? Are we cool with him right now? I think we're cool with him. This guy was awful, and now I'm cool with him. He threw some gay guy out the window because he was gay, and now I'm cool with this guy. What is going on? It was just a really intense film, and intense moments, and you live in intense moments, and I think that's what it was going out of. Like, not a lot of intense moments, but they happen. And I chose Sam Rockwell because of the journey his crazy character goes on.
Hey, it makes sense. I mean, I guess when you put it like that, I kind of do visualize it now, what you're basically saying. And I'm remembering a lot of those moments that he had, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he did seem like a dick before. Yeah, he did kind of build up. Yeah, he did get his ass kicked. Yeah. Yeah, he got humbled. Okay, I can understand that, and hey, I support that one. It was just certain parts I was just kind of more scratching my head than anything. I don't know. I don't think I could really get into it as much as I thought it would. But
I think on the live Oscar show, we can have a moment when we're talking about each of the movies.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hopefully, I've watched them all by then. Most likely, I haven't, but I just need to do the Call Me By Your Name or something.
I've watched all except 3, and that is Call Me By Your Name, Phantom Thread, and what was the last one?
Lady Bird?
Yep, Lady Bird.
Gotcha.
But
Lady Bird's a good one.
But you know, I'm still proud that I at least got a majority of them. I call it more of a victory for me. I'll take a B- on that one. Even a C at most. But All right, so next up we have, let's start with Best Actor for this one. We have Timothy Chalamet from Call Me By Your Name as Elo Perlman, Daniel Day-Lewis from Phantom Thread as Reynolds Woodcock, Daniel Kaluuya, I'm hoping I'm saying that name right, I apologize if I butchered it, from Get Out as Chris Washington, and he was also in the Black Panther. It was awesome. Gary Oldman, Darkest Hour as Winston Churchill, Denzel Washington, Roman J. Israel Esquire as Roman J. Israel. Imagine that. All right. I do believe that you are up to bat first.
Yep. So this was a little easier for me because I haven't seen most of these movies.
Oh, Jesus.
The one I saw is the one I'm going to pick, and I don't think it's a risky pick. I think that this guy might have it. I'm picking Gary Oldman. His portrayal of Winston Churchill was amazing. He fully took on this role. I mean, he looks like it. Obviously, there's probably some makeup involved. I get that. But, I mean, you obviously had to put on a little bit of weight for this and change his whole dialect. I think he's Australian. I could be wrong, but I know he changed his whole dialect a bit. And it was just it was a movie that surrounded one guy going into government meetings, and I was enthralled. Like, that's weird. Like, there was nothing else that happened in this movie. Like, he literally was just going in and out of government meetings. It was about World War II without fighting in World War II. Like, I just want to let you know, this is a World War II movie where you don't get to see, like, the tanks and stuff, and you're like, don't know if I want to go see this. But it was amazing, and I think Gary Oldman, I'm not afraid to choose one that is the only one I saw, but I think he has a chance.
Fair enough. I actually went with the risky route, but I think it's going to be one that actually will pay off. I went with Daniel Kaluuya. I thought that his performance in Get Out was great. You kind of felt for him. You kind of really understood a lot of the emotions she was going through. Definitely one of those things that opened up a lot of windows for him. And honestly, he deserves the nomination. I'm not going to deny that whatsoever. All right. Yeah. All right, we move on to the next category, which is Best Actress. We have Sally Hawkins for Shape of Water as Elsa Esposito. I'm hoping I'm saying these names right. Franz McDormand from Francis. Okay, for some reason it feels weird when you don't have an I there and you have an E there. It doesn't sing the same. Anyway, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri as Mildred Hayes. Margot Robbie, I, Tonya as Tanya Harding.
I know this one's hard. She's Irish as F. So
Margot Robbie's known for something else. You know what that is, and I'm just dark place right there. Saoirse Ronan, Lady Bird as Christine Lady Bird McPherson, and Meryl Streep, The Post as Katharine Graham. So
this one's a lot harder. I feel like for Best Actor.
For Best Actress. But this just for me, second place definitely would go to Meryl Streep. I thought she did a phenomenal job in The Post. I actually enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Meryl Streep always knows a way to just take any role that she is given and just make it work. But that being said, you really hit the nail on the head the other day when we were talking about this, and it was because of her dialogue that she did during the movie that really hit home. I'm going with Sally Hawkins from The Shape of Water. Just really hard to choose against that, especially when you have a dialogue where no words are spoken, it's all just hand gestures. It leaves that much more of a powerful impact, and I think that's the sole reason why, and she does a fantastic job. mean, granted, she's basically, nope, that's a completely dark direction. I'm not going in that direction. Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water. Just, what's your pick?
This was super hard, but you know what? I chose the exact same one as you. I like how you called it dialogue. It was interesting. At first I was like, it's not dialogue. But I'm like, no, it is. It's someone communicating with another person. So I'll agree that it could be called dialogue. Like, her monologues were crazy. Like, they were so intense. And she was just using American Sign Language, like ASL. Like, it was really cool to see that, and really cool to be moved by someone so intensely without hearing them say a word. So you had to feel them. Like, you had to feel her emotions, and she did it so well. And, like, I still, to this day, I talk about how, like, I want to learn that monologue and do it and see what people say when they're like, okay, what's the monologue you have for me? I'll be like, Sally Hawkins' monologue in The Shape of Water. They'll be like, what? And then I just, like, go and do the sign language, and it would be so crazy. I think it would be so amazing. And yes, I agree. Sally Hawkins, I mean, there's so many good options, but I was moved the most by her.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that as well. Like you said, you're the reason why I went with her. So we move on to what is basically the main event. Best Picture. Who had it best for the year 2017? We have Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This is where things get really good because you got so many great movies in here. It's hard to just pick one, but we have to for the fun of the competition, I guess we'll call it. So, Victory Bell, I know how you love going first. Who have you got and why?
All right, I'm gonna keep it straight and simple. I really enjoyed going on our Oscar journey this year because these movies, I mean, not that I haven't done it every year. Like, I usually watch at least 3 or 4, but, like, this year, I think what Nate just said, like, it was really cool that we got to watch so many of them. Like, there's literally only 2 that I have not watched. Get Out, I know the premise. So I'm not counting Get Out. And so it just means more to pick this, I think, right now.
I think, well, let's see. Oh, there we go. We're good.
Back? Okay, like I said, it means a lot, and I choose The Shape of Water. I don't think it's... I think it might win, and I think it deserves to win. And yeah, I really loved it. I already watched it twice. So yeah.
Well, this is now my time that I can say I had a feeling you were going to pick that because it does seem like it's the most popular movie that's going into this. Although we thought the same thing about La La Land last year, and it got upset by Moonlight last year, albeit controversy and all. But we're not even going to discuss that again because that was I'm going to go with Get Out. I think that it's going to be the one that a lot of people are probably going to be shocked that it probably won. And maybe it's just one of those things that it's like, hey, it's showing diversity. We're getting movies that are, more African-American oriented because Moonlight was more, African-American based. And same thing could be said about, Get Out. In all honesty, I loved the premise that they did there. Basically, it hits hard on all these random deals when it comes to segregation, especially when it comes to the fact that these people are getting forced against their will to be basically segregated. It just is one of those movies that you watch and your mind is just blown beyond expectation. And again, I'm continually just amazed because I think to myself, this is the guy who did sketch comedy for years. This is a guy who basically just made everybody laugh just because he could. And then he's just like, well, I don't want to do the acting anymore. I want to do directing. It's like, oh boy, this ought to be interesting. And then I hear about Get Out. And it's like, oh, people are saying it's so good, so good. It's like, well, I might as well see how well it is. Oh my God, I love this movie. This blows my mind. There's a twist. There's just action. There's craziness. It's an absolute amazing thriller. So my pick for the best picture is going to be Get Out because I think it's going to pull an upset. Some people are going to say it's going to be Shape of Water, and I'll be like, I think it's going to be Get Out. I think they're going to pull the upset, and I literally want to see just Jordan Peele talking, and maybe Keegan-Michael Key just appears out of nowhere, and he just does like the anger translator deal. It's like, you boys thought I wasn't going to win. You thought I wasn't going to win. Well, in your face, in your face.
Hilarious. I really like that. I would really like that. But yeah, no, I think out of the two movies that we...
Boy. Here we go. Again, Skype hates when we talk about the Oscars. You are back again, and you're frozen.
Am I back?
Yes, you are back again.
Great. Like, can I please talk Skype? Thank you. So I think out of the two that we picked, those Get Out actually might be relatively more well viewed and more. I probably made the most at the box office. I mean, that was a huge movie when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in general, they both tell a good tale and make you think differently about life, and that's kind of what these movies you would hope. If this is the best picture in the world right now for 2017, like, I would hope that it's making me think about life differently, and I think they both do. So I think we did good choices. I do want to say that we have 12 choices here, correct?
Correct.
So do you want to throw in one more kind of curveball just so that if we tie, we cannot tie?
All right. I guess I could be up for that.
I have a choice.
I'm listening.
I was thinking, in honor of how much you hated this category last year, we should choose it this year because it does have some fun people in it. Do you want to do makeup? Makeup and hairstyling?
I'm out. I'm done.
There's only 3 choices.
I'm out.
And we might end up picking the same one, but at least it'll be 13. So if we accidentally somehow end up with 6 and 6.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, I mean, we could probably do that, as well as maybe if you want to try, just add the 2 screenplay ones, because I think we might have a difference of opinion on those 2.
On screenplay as well?
They got best original screenplay as well as best adapted screenplay. I mean, if you got time, we could probably pick those 2 as well. Make it an even 15.
Okay, sure.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's start with which one do we say? Best makeup and hairstyling. So we got Darkest Hour, Victoria and Abdul, and Wonder. I think I know which one you're going to pick, but please indulge us.
That's why I said if we pick the same one, I'm sorry, because you obviously know which one I'm going to pick. I talked about this last episode. I'm going to pick Wonder. The little boy's makeup was crazy intense. It was really amazing, and just thinking of a 10-year-old, or he might have been 9 at the time, like sitting in a chair for 5 hours every day before filming, like, kudos to the makeup artist who could do that on a child, because I bet you anything, he was moving around, freaking out, and you're like, oh, stand still, I'm trying to perfect this. I know when people move, when you're doing makeup, you're like, I'm going to murder you. You better stop moving. So I definitely would like to pick Wonder on this one.
Well, I mean, you probably know better than anybody as a cosplayer, how hard it is just to keep still and have somebody apply makeup or apply makeup to yourself for like hours and hours upon end.
Yes.
It's like, this is boring. I don't want to do this anymore. Can I just do some... Someone take me to the kill. No, I'm kidding. For that one, I'll agree with you on that. I think that Wonder is a powerful enough movie that, again, like you said, the one thing that stands out is the kids' makeup. It's hard to really choose against that. Yes, I could go with Darkest Hour, which might be the better pick, but I think I'm going to go with the same. I'm going to go with the unique pick, and I'm going to go with Wonder on this one.
All
right. So we'll start with best adapted screenplay first, and then we'll go to best original screenplay. So we have Call Me by Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound. Molly's Game, probably no relation to Gerald's Game, which is on Netflix and is absolutely, oh man, it's cringeworthy, but in a good way. Oh jeez, I just got goosebumps just thinking about it again. So I think I got the first pick here. It's a risky one, but that we got here is Best Original Screenplay. This one I can probably guarantee that we're going to have difference of opinions on. We got The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I do believe you're up to bat to wrap it up. Who have you got?
Yeah, you know what? I think just out of honor of how much I did really like this movie, and by the way, I always think this one, the original screenplay, for me, seems a little more prestigious than the adapted one. I know it seems a little weird that I would say that, because obviously you put a lot of effort in the adapted screenplay, too.
No.
That they are their own. I know, I'm back, though. It's kind of just going in and out.
Yeah.
Whenever you're talking, nothing happens. But when I'm talking, the connection up. So I always think it's really cool when I hear that, oh, this was someone's actual writing project. Like, this is something they got that they either heard some true stories and wanted to build a story around and stuff like that. I always feel like it's a little more prestigious because it's their own idea. So I'm going to go crazy, and I'm going to throw out 3 Billboards for this. I think that it was surrounding true events that just was insane. And for someone to write it, like, this doesn't seem like a good idea. Like, let's just write around, like, these 3 rural billboards. Why not? Like, that seems really dumb. And I know you kind of have the take of that you weren't entertained, but I think it was really intense and really made me like, oh my gosh, like, this lady is insane. And in a good way, though, like, you're like, what is going on? Like, and she would go from being insane to like the cop coughing up blood, and she was like turned from I hate you to are you okay? And she was human. And you're like, whoa, like, how does that happen? How does it? And you're like, oh, she has a point to make. It doesn't mean all because she is feeling passionately about something, maybe even like politics, doesn't mean she's a bad person. They think differently about something, but they still care about each other. And I think it's a really good message, especially in our climate right now, in the political climate. Like, hey, maybe we think differently. It doesn't mean I hate you. It means that I just think differently, and I'm still a human, and I can still care about somebody who's dying, type of thing. Like, I really liked the message that they were sending, so I'm going rogue, and I'm going to pick 3 Billboards.
All right, sweet. I also picked 3 Billboards. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I got you going though.
Like, no, I thought it was crazy that I picked them.
No, I'm gonna continue with what I've been saying throughout the entire podcast. I'm going with Get Out again. Again, Jordan Peele. He wrote it. He was a comedy genius. Creating something that just is mind-boggling really does put him in a league of his own. So I'm going with Jordan Peele for Get Out again. I feel like Get Out is one of my go-to places to go, but I feel that confident right now. So, yeah. So I think that's it, and I think there's quite a few that are definitely going to basically determine how this is going to go. So. That is our predictions, our 15 predictions, originally 12, but we decided to be crazy. yay for craziness.
I think it'll decide like if Shape of Water is going to win a lot, or if Get Out's going to win a lot. It might decide it. Like our picks, I'm pretty towards Shape of Water on winning a lot, and you're pretty towards Get Out winning a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it sounds cool. It sounds like it'll be an interesting time. We'll have some stakes in going into this. So we'll see who gets punished. I guess we'll announce what the punishment is during the live episode, or punishment or reward. We don't have to be punished, but whatever you choose, Nate.
For a lot of people that have seen my Facebook videos, you know that I've been punished a lot, and I've done so many different things that I don't exactly, am very proud of, but at the same time, I don't really regret, to say the least. But what's another one to the list? But yeah, we'll definitely talk about what the punishment's going to be on Sunday. We'll probably even do some drinking roast. So for those of you that are looking to do some drinking near the Oscars, you maybe are not enjoying it, or maybe you're enjoying it too much. We'll have a little bit of fun doing that. I'll definitely look into that a little bit later on this weekend. And also I will have a bit of a surprise for a lot of the people, the viewers. And it's such a big surprise, I'm not even going to tell my co-host what it is, because where's the fun in that?
Oh, snap.
All right, so Oscars this Sunday, live event going on. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Definitely check in on our Facebook pages, as well as on facebook.com/The Game Changer, and Changing Up the Game, as well as VictoriBelleCosplay, to learn so much more that we're going to be doing this upcoming Sunday, you guys. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be fun. And to the victor goes the spoils, I guess. And to the loser, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this goes. So, for Victory Bell, I've been Nate the Effing Great. Thank you so much for joining us here for this prediction episode. And we will see you guys on Sunday on Facebook Live. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me, though I have to travel far. Remember me, each time you hear a sad guitar. Know that I'm with you the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again. Remember me. Recuérdame.
Recuérdame, si en tu mente vivo estoy. Recuérdame, mis sueños yo te doy. Te llevo en mi corazón y te acompañaré. Unidos en nuestra canción, contigo ahí estaré. Recuérdame, si sola crees estar. Recuérdame, y mi cantar te irá a abrazar. Aún en la distancia nunca vayas a olvidar que yo contigo siempre voy. Recuérdame.
If you close your eyes and let the music play, keep our love alive, I'll never fade away. If you close your eyes and let the music play, keep our love alive, I'll never fade away. If you close your eyes and let the music play, keep our love alive, I'll never fade away. Remember me, for I will soon be gone. Remember me, and let the love we have